Hello. Hi. Welcome to my bed where I heal. All right, let's do this. Hello. Hi. Hey, everybody. We are in my bedroom for day 2 of the Awakened CEO Masterclass. I know everybody wants to know what happened. I will tell you in a minute. I'm going to give people a minute, just a second to jump on. Today is a really amazing topic. And it's interesting, right? Because, okay, I'll just let you guys in on a little secret. Hi, Heather. I am feeling better finally. Hi, Nicole. Usually when you're selling a product, any kind of informational based thing, it would be based off of something that is a problem that people are aware that they have, that they want to solve. How to make more money, how to get more clients, how to work through your mindset. I've done all of these. This one is one that I'm most of the people that are in my audience have absolutely no idea is a problem. I was aware of this when I was creating this. I don't think most people are paying attention to this, or this isn't on the forefront of their radar. So it's interesting for me to put this out there in a way where I can sort of put it on people's radar, which is my intention. So even though it's a lot of extra work for me, because there's so many things that I could run or that I could do that are things that are already on people's radar, I feel called to this very strongly. So this is what we're doing. Hi, Phil. Thank you so much. Okay. So I know everybody wants to know, so I'm just going to tell you. Make sure you say hi to me if you pop on. Say hi. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. If you're my tribe, just send me some love. And if you're new to me, tell me that it's your first time, or tell me that you're new to me so I can come say hi to you and get to know you a little bit. This is what happened. So for those of you who missed the first half, actually, is my team on? Team, if you're on, Susan, if you're on, will you drop the link for part 1 in the comments? And pin it. You'll have to do it as me so you can pin it. So what happened was day 2 was supposed to be the very next day, and I spiked a really high fever and I ended up going to the hospital. So I had a kidney infection, but they gave me the wrong medication at first. So then the kidney infection was getting worse and worse, and it ended up getting systemic, and then I ended up going to the hospital. And it was a quite big dramatic scene, all for something that could have been quite minor. Had I gotten the right medication. So that's what happened. And then as soon as I stopped the antibiotics, the first antibiotics, like you guys know how that works, then all of a sudden it just raged through my body. So that's why I felt so great the first that day, because I had just finished the antibiotics, and it was the next day when my body had a full 24 hours off of the wrong medication that, whatever the infection was just sort of went rampant in my body. So that's what happened. That's the full glory details. That's everything. Oh, it's quite interesting. So, yeah, it was quite painful. I was up most nights in a lot of pain. I was like, I haven't felt pain like this since I had a child. So, it gave me a new round of appreciation. And here's the deal, right? I got to eat humble pie, and I think that's good for me. I'm okay with eating humble pie. I'm really okay with it. Hi, Samantha. Hey, Demba, glad you're better. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Jacqueline. Yay, I'm so glad I'm better too. I know you guys are so loving and sweet. You made me feel so loved. And it wasn't always that way in my life. I remember feeling very, very alone when I was going through hard times most of my life. What was I saying before that? I don't remember. So anyway, here's the deal. Yep, team just dropped the replay, so you guys have number 1 if you want. Okay, so... humble pie. That's right. I was going to conveniently forget my humble pie story. How convenient of me. Okay. So here's the deal. I had literally just said 2 days before, I said to a friend of mine, I was like, oh, that old pattern where I used to need to get sick in order to have time off, or to validate how tough things were for me. That's been long gone for 2 years. I haven't done that for 2 years. I don't get sick anymore. I don't do the whole sick when I up level thing, because there's a belief and a story that people have, which is, this is very relevant to today's training in a peculiar way, but very relevant, right? So when you're massively expanding so consistently, which I know everybody here is, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't that kind of person, you're expanding and you're dealing with the money part of things and the mindset part of things and the relationship part of things and the business and what is my message, my deepest message to the world, and all of these kind of things are going on. And while you're doing this, you tend to have this story in your head like it's a stressful event, right? So I learned this concept. The pendulum only swings forward, meaning when you expand, you only expand forward and you just continue to expand forward. There's no like, I expanded into this new level and then I got to like crumple in on myself or whatever it is that we do. And the story that you hear a lot of people out there saying like, oh, I got sick because I'm up leveling. And it's just the story that they're telling themselves, but it's not really necessary. So I kind of, I just said it casually, but inside I was bragging a little bit. Inside, I was a little bit, like, to myself, I was a little bit braggy, like, oh yeah, you really kicked that in its ass, Mandy. Like, you cleared that. Like, you don't do the whole sick to up level thing anymore. And it was literally like 2 days later, I was in the hospital for like the first time. I've never been in the hospital because I was sick. So I was laughing because I was like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. The work is the work. And it looks like whatever the hell it looks like. And it's very easy for me to see what I was resisting. I was resetting. This is a reset for me, and I can see exactly what I was resisting, like ferociously resisting. And that's what it is. And so I got to eat some humble pie, which is really good for me. I'm really just okay with that. Who else is here? Say hello to me. Let me know you're here. Okay, so really quick, let's do a day one recap. You know why, right? Because this is the way we learn. So when we absorb something the first time, right? And then we go back and we review it a few days later. This is how we pull it into our deeper memory and into our subconscious and to all the places that matter. I immediately thought of that you used to get sick when you up leveled, but not anymore when you said you were sick. Yeah. Humble pie time. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love you guys. You guys are so sweet. It really is true. Like, I felt so loved, and I remembered, like, I just sat there in gratitude and just remembered how lonely I used to feel. Like, I remember being a single mom. I remember like moving my entire house by myself, just packing a car, driving the car, unpacking it, going back, packing the car, driving it, unpacking it, being scared because I didn't have money to feed the kids at night. And like, nobody cared. Like, nobody cared how hard it was. That was my perception of the world back then. And I made it true. I doubt I even ever asked anybody to help me because I had to do everything myself, was my story. And I just remember how lonely and sad it was. And then to feel so much love from everybody was really healing and really loving for me. So I know a lot of people can think like, oh, everyone else said it doesn't really matter. Like, it really mattered to me. I felt very loved, and thank you guys. It meant a lot to me. I love you guys. Okay, so we're going to review day number one super quick, and then we're going to dive into this content because I got some epic stuff. We're going to shift it today, shift it now, right? Like, yes, I have the Awakened CEO program coming up. It starts March 13th. I always say March. It starts May 13th. I don't know why I have March stuck in the brain. Y'all know I even told the team March 13th, and it was on the sales page the first time. That was really funny. Okay, we start May 15th. And it's just going to be absolutely powerful. I'm so excited to do it. But tonight, and I will give you guys all the information you need about that when we finish up here. You'll have everything that you need to know to move forward in there. You can just reach out to me, and I'll give you the private link for that. I'll let you guys know the pricing and everything at the end. We're in early bird special time right now. But right now in this training, we're going to shift a massive level. Like, we're going to feel it, and we're going to feel our way through, and we are going to shift a massive level right now into it. And I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're, brand new in the field, if you're a coach, if you're a healer, if you're a teacher, if you have physical products, like, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, whatever field of the entrepreneur world and the game changing world that you're in, right? Whatever pieces and parts of it that you're in. And I don't care if you're, at your first 0 to 10K months, you're at 50K months consistently, or you're hitting, 200K months consistently. It doesn't matter. There's always another level for us to embrace and for us to shift into and to feel into. And the work is the same for all of us. The same work that I did in the very beginning to embrace even having a business, and when it was used to make my head spin, and I didn't I'm a business owner, and like, I didn't even know what to call it. I didn't understand taxes. I didn't understand any of it. I definitely didn't know how to hire people. And then I definitely didn't know how to manage people once I hired people. Like, there was so much to it, and it really just used to make my head spin. And I'd be like, I don't know, I'm just a coach, right? And then, no, you're not just a coach. You're a CEO. you have a company and a business that's going to employ people and that's going to change the world, and that we're going to just take and we're going to launch this thing to the next level. So whatever you have in your head, we're going to go bigger, right? And whatever you thought that was big, we're going to take that, we're going to 10x it, and 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 we're going to 10x it, because we need to keep the pressure on. You know, a lot of people try to avoid the pressure and like, oh, I'm not going to hire too soon, or I'm not going to invest in this thing, or I'm not going to hire that team member, I'm not going to hire the cleaners, or I'm not going to buy this beautiful thing for myself. And I'm going to get into some of the concepts behind what makes you a powerful CEO, because I think that's really important. I'm going to give you an example tonight so you can see what I'm talking about. So you guys really have a lot of stuff to go home with tonight. And then, you know, obviously I dive deep into it in the 10-day program. So, that my intention tonight is for you to actually physically make the shift tonight. Like, we're making a shift tonight. It's happening right now, okay? And we're gonna dig into this. I actually did create a workbook for you guys. Let me grab the link really quick. Who else is here? I am Andrea, thank you. I feel loved. Say hello if you're popping on. And before I hop into the first training, who was on the first training and what ahas did you get from it? If you're on the replay, still drop that in the comment. I'm going to be tracking with you guys. What stuck with you from the first training? Okay. The workbook is dropped in the comments. I'm going to go through it with you. So if you don't want to print it out, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Hi, Janine. Yeah, Janine's with us. Janine moved forward to the 10-day program. Hell yeah, girl. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing. You just wait. Okay, so everybody pulling up the workbook? Yeah, so I'll be tracking the thread. So make sure you let me know what was your biggest aha that stuck with you from day one, because it's good for me to see where is everybody at. Like, I want to get a pulse on my tribe and my audience. Like, where are you guys at? Like, what are you needing help with the most with this? Or what is making your head spin the most the way mine did? Or what are you just really excited to step into and learn? What would be like the greatest thing ever? Like, if I could just learn this around embodying and embracing the CEO. And for some of you, this is like the first time you're even looking at this. Like, you've been kind of doing this thing around being the CEO of your business. Even if I don't care if you even have like a 6-person staff and your business is already global, you're still doing this a little bit. You don't really want to look at it that much, right? Like, we do it because we have to, but we're not looking directly at it. That's our intention tonight, is to look directly at it. Hope you're feeling better, Mandy. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Tim. Yeah. Okay. So the workbook has been dropped. We're going to do a day one's quick recap. Ready? Remember, we talked about the fact that many incredible leaders have no clue how to run a company. Like, they just no idea how to run a company. They're just not because they're not capable or they're not smart. They're just not looking at it. They're just not paying attention to it. It's not something they want to look at because they don't feel like they do a good job at it, right? What's your, nope, that's the other one. Passion does not equal a business. A passion is a passion. What you're super passionate about, what you would die for, what your deepest message is, that's not a business. That is a passion, right? That's the thing that motivates us to do the things like learn how to be the CEO and learn the skills that we haven't had yet, right? And your gift does not equate to you having the skill to be a CEO. So the gift that you have to heal, the gift that you have to teach, the gift that you have to coach, the gift that you have to sell, the gift that you have to whatever your thing is, that is not the skill of being a CEO. They're two completely different animals. And until we can actually just look at that and just be like, okay, it is what it is. Instead of avoiding looking at the thing that I feel like I'm not that good at, I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to learn how to be clear-minded and decisive and savvy around being the CEO, right? Okay, what else did we talk about? We talked about the skill is knowing how to talk about what you do versus trying to impress people. There's a different energy there. Nobody's like, oh, I'm going to go impress these people. But energetically, we're like that. Energetically, we're like, I need to impress. Like, if I don't impress people, if I don't like woo or wow or whatever people that we tell ourselves, if I don't do some amazing thing, then our business is going to flop, right? That is not the energy that we're looking for. That's the taking energy, or the I need something from you. When we show up with our audience in a way where we need something from them, that's like going on a date with a needy person. Like, we're like, nope, no, Uber, taxi, like, we're out, we're done. Like, we can't handle that needy energy. So this is not the way we want to show up in our business. So the other way would be being really skilled at what we do and knowing how to talk about what we do and coming from that place. Make sense? Okay. Then we talked about the need to be able to break through the fear of failure and success. Most people are aware that they have to do that, but I don't think we're looking directly at it. Like, are we currently still doing that? Because if we're not dreaming really, really big, and I mean multi-7-figure global impact big, then we're afraid to fail or afraid to succeed, right? Like, we have these wee little dreams. We have these huge, incredible, powerful people, these incredible people. The people in my tribe, the people that show up on trainings like this, y'all are unbelievable. I'm forever so inspired by the people that are in my community and tribe. I'm just unbelievable stories, unbelievable people, unbelievable gifts and warmth and the ability to show up for other people after everything that you've been through. Just incredible people, right? Your dreams are so small in comparison. These itty tiny little dreams, like, I just want to hit 10K months, right? Like, we're all starting somewhere. And whatever the goal is right now, the goal is right now. But my intention is for you guys to start expanding that dream massively. Because if you say that you're going to make 6 figures this year, you'll make 6 figures this year, or just shy or just over, right? But if you say that you're going to make $500,000 this year, you're going to make way more than just under or just over 6 figures. But most people don't want to put themselves in that tension. They don't want to feel the tension, right? Like, oh, the tension is bad. I just want it to be like easy and nice. No, that's called complacency. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Owning your role as a leader. Remember, we covered this. Have you ever considered how you need to feel in order to identify with someone else as being your leader? Like, when we show up on someone else's training, when we comment and engage, when we purchase from someone, we're identifying with them as the leader. Have you ever captured what it takes for you to identify with somebody else as a leader? Because it's that same sort of thing that you need from the other person in order for you to identify with them as a leader, right? Because there's nobody above or below anyone else. We're all the same. We're all equals. We're all doing life together. I heard it once described as like locking arms. I liked that. I think it was like a very military vision for me. Like, we're locking arms together and we're doing life together. Some of us are just a couple steps ahead on the path and some of us are a couple steps behind on the path. It's not above and below. It's just like where we're at in the journey. And so the people that are ahead can support other people, but we're all equals and we're all the same. So it's really important for you to identify what makes you identify someone else as a leader so that you can embody that for your audience, for your people. Make sense? Yes, selling is an act of love. Who said that? Jacqueline, of course. Yes, girl. First day, what am I going to do to lead myself in the arena? I feel, yes, my favorite question to myself of all time. Okay. So then we covered also, like, do you know what makes a company a company? Do you know the roles of an online company? And then also, we do not run a company on the defense, right? So that's just a reminder for those of you that were on the training. You'll know what that means. If you haven't, you can go back and watch training number 1. Okay, are you ready for training number 2? We're gonna go straight into feeling it, okay? So the topic today is the vibe of a global CEO, the vibe, right? The identity of a global CEO. Because you and I both know that your brain, okay, I'm probably going a little bit out of order, but that's okay. There was a story, it's not a story, it's an event that actually happened. The astronauts, someone was training the astronauts, and the astronauts were getting really nauseous when they were going into outer space. So they created this mask that they could wear, and when they put them on, everything was flipped upside down. So their body, they had to learn to navigate with everything flipped upside down to train the brain to be used to going to space so that they could actually function in space. And what they found was after a certain exact amount of time, the brain would flip it right side back up. This is why this is so astonishing. Listen to this for a second. I want you to really hear this. Like, just hear me for a second, okay? Stop, put your phone down. Don't do anything else for a second. I want you to really hear this because this in of itself could change everything for you if you really hear this, okay? The brain flipped, it flipped the entire freaking world upside down so that the human being could see the way it perceived it should be seeing. It wasn't actually seeing correctly. It was seeing everything upside down, but it had believed for so many years, the human had believed for 40 years that the world was the other way. So the brain actually rewired its entire self to flip the world back. Okay, so now this human being who has goggles on where everything's supposed to be upside down is now seeing the entire world flipped upside down. Talk about an alternate reality. Track with me for 1 second. This means that what you believe, it's so powerful, your brain will actually flip the entire universe upside down for you to make it real. If you identify as a global CEO who will have a massive impact on this world, your brain will flip the entire universe upside down just to make that true for you. So what this means is, you know, most people are aware of the reticular activation system. So what this actually means is that when you truly believe something, you will find evidence of it in the world, because your brain will filter out all the stuff that makes it not true. Your brain will filter out anything that will rub against the belief that you have. That's why you have these, like, I'm just going to use this example, like a staunch Christian is what came to mind. Somebody else must have said that. I don't know what that means. Like, you have these Christians who believe that, like these radical, that's the word, radical Christians who believe that, you know, whatever belief that they have, or you have the radical Muslims who believe whatever they have. And then that's the way they see the world. All these other people are evil, or all these people are going to hell, or they see the world that way because they have this belief. And that's what they're going to see. That's what they're going to do. If someone is terrified to go outside because they believe that everybody is mean and hateful, they're going to see someone who does something very casual as mean and hateful, and they're going to take it personal, and they're going to see evidence of that everywhere they want in the world. You see that with people. The jealous girlfriend, the girlfriend who thinks that her husband or boyfriend is cheating on her every single day, and so she sees evidence that he's cheating on her everywhere. Oh, someone parked a car next to us and he must be cheating on me with that girl in the car. Like, they just see evidence of it everywhere, right? So that means that if you're not being willing to look at a big vision, a really big goal, a really big vision for your company, a massive amount of income coming in for your business in a state of overflow, and a massive impact on the world, and your message or your healing or your whatever, leaving the legacy that you actually feel called on the inside that you haven't even acknowledged yet, you've acknowledged this much of it. This much of it. It's massive. That's why you feel called so hard. That's why you consistently keep getting through and going through and rising out of the ashes over and over and over your entire life. This is why. Because there is a massive call on your life, and you are not looking at it, and you are not letting yourself be open to that. And what I'm trying to help you guys understand today is that your brain will find evidence of what you decide to believe. What you decide to believe. I know that's an annoying concept. I just don't care, because it's the concept that will change the world and get you into a state of massive overflow and wild success, global massive success. So we need to start looking at things that might be slightly annoying or frustrating, because it's relevant. It's a big deal. Hi, Liana. Yes, Jane. Don't watch on that. Hi, Tanya. Okay. Are you guys tracking with me so far? Are we here? We're here. We're going to look at this. We're all going to eat humble pie today. I'm just inviting you guys to eat it with me. Maybe I didn't like eating it alone. Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to read you a story. I put it in the workbook for you so you guys have it, because these are the kind of things. Now, remember what we just said. We just said that whatever you actually believe, like, what is your, like, I believe this is what I identify with, like, this is what's real, right? This is what's real. So in order to change what we believe is real, we actually have to have an experience, right? Because you guys ever use mantras over and over and over, but the mantra didn't work and you don't believe any different because you said this thing over and over and over and like, oh, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich. And then you weren't rich and you didn't feel like you were rich and nothing changed and you thought it was so stupid. It's because it is stupid. It is stupid. I love mantras. I use them. But if you don't know how to use them, they're stupid, right? Because it's not about saying it. It's about feeling it. Feeling it. What's the number way to feel something? To experience it. What is one of the most powerful ways that we experience something? Stories, movies and stories. That's why somebody's life story and their truth about, it's why when I tell people, 4 years ago I was on welfare, I could barely feed my kids and I was miserable, I was depressed, I was antidepressant, anti-anxieties. Now I'm the happiest mother-loving person I know. And my business is crazy successful and I live in this beautiful home and my kids are happy. They're so happy. My kids are happy. Oh, my kids are happy. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you tell a story, when I told the story about how I just sobbed and cried when I realized I could buy organic food for my children who were diagnosed with ADHD, which I was never going to medicate and all of that kind of crap, like I vaguely, whatever. I believe what I believe about that. But I was desperate to buy them organic food. It's why when I tell people how I cried on the ground that day, they feel it and they're like, fuck, that's really possible. Like I can, like, if she was there and she's here now, then maybe that's possible for me. This is how we identify with each other. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this story, because anyone can go read a story, is because I said we're shifting tonight. We're shifting tonight, which means that we need to feel. So I want you to just put everything down. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to just listen to the story for a minute, okay? And I want you to let the parts of you that identify with it to just allow yourself to step into it and to start feeling it, okay? All right. So some time ago, a man punished his 3-year-old daughter for wasting a roll of gold wrapping paper. It was this really beautiful, sparkly gold wrapping paper. And he had saved it for special events and they were really poor. Money was tight and he became infuriated with the child when the child tried to decorate a box to put under the Christmas tree. So he walked in and there was a little girl and she was using this expensive wrapping paper and it was basically all they had and he was so mad at her. Nevertheless, the girl brought the gift to her father the next morning and said, "This is for you, Daddy." The man became embarrassed by his overreaction earlier, but his rage continued when he saw that the box was empty. He saw her come over. He thought it was adorable. He felt stupid for having flipped out before. Then he saw it was empty and he got mad again. He yelled at her, "Don't you know when you're giving someone a present, there's supposed to be something inside?" The little girl looked up at him with tears in her eyes and cried, "Oh, Daddy, it's not empty at all. I blew kisses into the box and they're all for you, Daddy." The father was crushed and he put his arms around the little girl and he begged her for forgiveness. And only a short time later, an accident took the life of the child. This is based on a true story, y'all. Her father kept the box by his bed for many years, and whenever he was discouraged, he would take out an imaginary kiss and remember the love of the child who had put it there. Moral of the story: you will see things differently based on what your focus is and what your beliefs are about what's happening. Are you hearing this? You will see things differently based on what your focus is and what your beliefs are about what's happening. Did you see the little girl showing unconditional love and you're living in a world of massive amounts of abundance? Like in the moment, when you see your child wasting something, do you see it as this beautiful act of love in a world full of massive abundance? Or did you see it as the child is being irresponsible and making your life harder and using up resources as you're already struggling and there's limitations and it's already so hard and now it's going to be even harder? With our children is one of the easiest ways for us to see where we're at, where we're really at when we react to these kind of things, right? And the work for us is to outgrow the chaotic, scattered parts in us as we awaken and we tune in, to be intentional about life and to truly see what's happening through the eyes of the parts of us that are designated as the CEO, that are destined to be the CEO. So our work is for us to slow down and to tune in and to feel our way through this journey and to stop trying to rush through the lessons, to stop thinking that we know better than what's actually in front of us, to stop and actually see something for what it is through the eyes of a global leader, not as the girl that was hurt or the girl that was struggled or the girl that might screw it up or the girl that feels like she's not pretty enough or the girl that feels like she's not smart enough or isn't saying it right or people might judge her. And those small little tiny things, those little tiny things, like the moment when the little girl was using the wrapping paper, it's freaking wrapping paper. When the child comes in and like, "Hi, mommy, blah, blah, blah," and I'm trying to study and I'm trying to focus and I'm trying to do this thing because I need to make money. And if I don't make money, then my business is going to fall apart. I'm never going to reach anyone. I'm not even going to be able to pay my bills. That is not the vibe of building a massive impact on the planet. And let me just tell you, it's not the circumstances that need to change for you to shift. It's not the circumstances that need to change for you to shift. It's a decision for you to shift. It's a decision for you to put yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable, so the pressure is on for you to grow. It's not about staying comfortable. It's not about needing proof and evidence that it's going to work. That shit doesn't work like that. That's not how this works, right? Do you see it as an arena that you've stepped into for your good? Or do you see it as evidence of life being harder, failure, something is wrong, more draining shit, you're messy, I'm a gamble, see, this doesn't work, I tried everything, I'm doing everything that I can. I see people, so many years and thousands of people I watch them, I watch you, I know, I've been here, I've done all of the versions myself. I watch people say yes to themselves, go to back themselves up, step into the arena, and then I watch them, literally some of them the very next day step back out. The very next day they step back out because they got a taste of some kind of pressure. Like, we need to toughen up. We need to be able to handle pressure because we're here to leave an impact on the world. So in the moments when, this is the problem. When we come from a lot of trauma, when we step into the pressure, our nervous system is wired to tell us that something is wrong. You're only supposed to do whatever you did yesterday and the day before. So if you're doing something and there's pressure on you, or you feel a new sense of pressure or a new level of how we need to show up, we are tempted to step back from that because it feels like something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Growing feels like growing. I've said it 1,000 times. Growing feels like growing. When you step into an arena, so when some shit blows up in your face, when you don't have enough money for the investment you made, when you hired someone and now you don't know how to manage the people you hired, when you launched a program and you wanted 100 people and you got 12, when you, what are the most common ones? When you, got really motivated and fired up and you had so much clarity about this thing, and then 3 days later, you're like, I don't even remember what I was talking about or why I wanted to do that. When you're doing the things that show up to build your business and to step into this and to actually embrace who you are called to be, to become the person it took in order for you to design your life and build your dreams and to leave the impact and legacy that you're meant to leave on this planet, there's going to be moments of arenas for you to grow. And if you cannot recognize in the moment that that is for you, it's like like Brene Brown's arena, right? Like this big arena with people cheering everywhere, and you're walking in and there's a test for you. And you're going to walk in and you're going to embrace the test and you're going to surrender to it and you're going to allow yourself to strengthen, or you're going to step back and you're going to list all your excuses. I can't, it's too hard, my kids, my husband, my wife, I have to travel after the wedding, I have somebody in the family that's dying, my dogs need me, I don't have the money in the bank, I don't want to use my savings, whatever the stories are, whatever the excuses are. I think it's just better timing next time, I have vacation coming up, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying that you always have to say yes to something. That's silly. I'm saying that you have a dream and a calling on your life. And there's moments when something will resonate with you and you're like, you feel that hell yeah in your gut. You're like, you feel the hell yes in your gut, right? And so something will come up and you'll feel, I need to break up in this relationship. I need to leave. I need to ask for a divorce. I need to say yes to love. I need to tell this person I love them. You'll feel, I need to join that program right there. I need to hire that mentor right there. I need to hire my first person for my team. I need to reach out to connect to this person to see how we can collaborate. You'll feel a prompting in your soul and you'll feel a hell yes. And you have about 5 seconds before all your patterns and all your excuses start to come in and then kick your ass. And then now you're toggling through all your patterns, which is why you see people will say yes and the next day they try to back out, right? So what I'm saying to you is there's 2 ways to see everything that happens. It doesn't matter. For most people, it's a financial struggle. For a lot of people, it's a financial pressure. So they don't want to purchase the things that feel expansive. They don't want to invest in the things that help them to grow. They don't want to hire the people for their corporation that they need. They don't want to get the right tax people or the whatever it is, right? Like whatever the investment is, or their regular bills. Maybe we want to up level the house and feel like we're in the vibes of a house. Maybe it's first class. I'm going to get into that. That one's super triggery. Whatever it is, whatever you're feeling called to, I'm saying that you have a chance to look at it for what it is. You can look at it as an arena where I'm going in and yes, I'm going to be tested right now. Yes, I'm going to be tested right now. But you know what? I'm ready. I'm motherfucking ready. I'm ready. I was born for this, for such a day as this. And we see it as an arena. I asked for a divorce. And then right after that, the AC went. And right after that, I had a $30,000 bill for taxes that I didn't realize. And then right after that, I got super sick and went in the hospital. And right after that, blah, 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 blah. Right? And I could look at that and be like, maybe I'm bad, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I shouldn't have asked for a divorce, maybe this is punishment, maybe I'm screwed up still, maybe, oh my God, what if I can't take care of my kids and I'm here by myself? Like I could look at it as all sorts of things that could scare the shit out of myself. And every single day in my business, which is true for every single person here, every single day has an opportunity to look at the crazy shit going on in their life and get scared. Every person. Nobody's immune to that. You're not the only one. This is how I talk to myself. You want to know how I talk to myself, Mandy? You're not the only one who has the opportunity to look at the circumstances and get scared. Everybody else could too. Everybody else could too. So the people that don't are happy and successful, and the people that do keep backing out of shit and stay stuck in loops. Which one do you want to be? Okay, let's do happy and successful. I'm releasing this now, right? So how I look at it and remember, because we've heard it talked about a million times, like everything is for you, everything is for you. But those words could really piss you off in the wrong moment, like really piss you off. Like, how the hell is this for me, right? Like I was going sick and being in the hospital, but I know so deeply and intrinsically now that everything's for me and everything is an arena for my growth, that no matter what happens, I just sort of like patiently wait. And sometimes if it's too long, like sometimes I remember one time it took 4 weeks and I was like, okay, I'm done now. Like 4 weeks is too long to be waiting for the lesson here. Like as long as I know there's a lesson of up level, I know there's massive results on the other side, but I have to see that. And I started getting a little crazy after 4 weeks. And then one time it lasted 2 months and that was insane. But most of the time it's a couple days or a couple weeks, right? So what I'm saying is that you can see it as an arena that you've stepped in that is designed for you to actually expand and grow. And you could stop being entitled. Again, this is how I talk to myself. I'm just going to talk to you guys how I really am with myself, right? You can stop being entitled and acting like I'm supposed to have the results without growing. Like, what is that shit anyway? Who gets to get results without growing? Well, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm just going to stand here and watch everybody and I'm going to develop all these muscles. Like, that is ridiculous. That's what you're saying in your business. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So we stop being entitled and we actually are like, okay, I said I want this. Am I willing to show up and do the work to have it? Because guess what? When you step into actually embracing the highest level version of you, the CEO of a global corporation who's leaving a massive impact in the world, and you let yourself dream big enough to actually capture your bigness, which by the way, you're nowhere near it. You're actually going to start dreaming really big and you're going to start to embrace this and you're going to start to visualize this. And as you do, and as you're showing up for that, trust me, you're going to have moments of growth spurts. That's what I call them, growth spurts. Like, oh, remember when you were a kid and your back and your knees and your legs hurt? I'm 5'11", so maybe it was just me, but they hurt. They were painful. And it was like, I was growing. Like, oh, these are growing pains. That's what it feels like. And there's an arena that you're stepping into that was designed for you. Like, hey, you said that you wanted to learn how to, manage people on your team. So I'm going to give you these 3 people who don't have no idea how to run, like how to work for you. And they're going to give you the maximum amount of ability to practice learning how to teach someone how to run your business. And it challenges you and you're like, oh, how come I can't hire people that already know, blah, blah, blah. No, because the arena was designed for you, because you're that important, because what you're here to do on the planet is so important. And I mean that from the bottom of my soul. It is so important that we need the universe to show up and create designed places for you to step into, for you to actually learn and expand and become the human being inside of the arena. And the only alternative is being complacent and entitled. That is the only alternative. So we need to be smart enough to stop thinking that we can predict what is for us. Like, oh, well, it was supposed to look like this. For me to hit $1 million, it wasn't supposed to look like me asking for a divorce. Or for me to hit $1 million this year, it wasn't supposed to look like me getting sick and going to the hospital. For me to hit $1 million this year, it wasn't supposed to look like whatever. Like, where does that come from? If it's your path, if it's truly your path, the path that you're meant to be walking on, if you can see the whole path, that's somebody else's path. You just saw someone else's and then just took that to make your own. That shit ain't yours. If it's your path, you can see one step ahead of you. One step ahead of you. One step. All I know is I just got a ping to do this thing right here and I'm scared to shit to do it. That makes me terrified. What if I'm bad? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm blah, blah, blah? But we do it anyway and we step. And so whatever it takes for us to get to the place where we're being obedient to those pings and the intuition and the guidance that we feel inside of us, that's what our arenas are going to look like. In order for us to be strong enough, in order to be able to show up, and in order for us to be able to be strong enough to show up and create the space inside of us to remove the things that never belong, to unstick the pain and the struggle and the beliefs and the sad stories and the limiting things that we have going on in our life that block us and cap us, right? And to remove those so that we have space to receive. Right? Like I'm going to remove the pain and the hurt I have about men and what men are like. And I'm going to clear that up for space to receive love, epic, powerful, incredible, make me feel so special and safe love, right? I'm going to clear the old stories around being the welfare girl so I can open up the space for massive amounts of wealth. I'm going to clear out the stories. And by the way, in order to clear out those stories, it's going to take an experience and it's going to take an arena. So imagine if you just wrote down this big fat list of like all the things that you want to change in your life, and you wrote down on a scale from 0 to 100, 100 being the hardest thing you ever went through, what are you actually willing to go through in order to have it? Because if you have a bunch of zeros, then go back to sleep, watch Netflix. you don't know what the arena is going to look like and when it's going to come, but it's always perfect. It's so perfect. And by the way, do you really even want to be in control of that? Do you want to be in control of what the arena looks like and when it happens? Because you'll do a shit job. You weren't made for that. You ain't going to do God's job. Yes. Love your perception of things. If you can see one more step at a time, that shit ain't out. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So this is the big girl panties. This is us calling ourselves to more, right? In the moments when shit is really hard and you followed your soul and you said, yes, I'll make that investment. Yes, I'll hire that team. Yes, I'll purchase this thing for myself that I feel. Yes, I'll buy myself that first class ride. Yes, I'll, whatever the ping is, I don't care. Sometimes for me, it's been a Chanel bag and other times it's been donating massive amounts of money. It's both exactly the same. I grew exactly the same amount from doing both. It's like, who's to say which one is more important? It's the one that you intuitively feel like that's a hell yes. That's it. It does not matter what it is. It could be around relationships, spiritual, physical things, elevating your actual environment. It could be around your body and what you get to have for support for how you look. It could be for support inside of the business, having an expert do some kind of thing. It could be having a new assistant. It just, whatever it is, when it happens. It's not my job to tell you that. I ain't your soul. It's your job to actually tune in and be honest with yourself about what you're being called to, and then be brave enough to step into it, and then allow yourself to be in a space where there's pressure on you, because you will learn to be strong enough to handle the pressure like that. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like 30K pressure right now for me is like, it's like unnoticed. Like, I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's like not a thing. But back in the day, $2,000 used to crush me. I would sit on the kitchen floor and bawl and cry over 2K. I have learned to be able to handle a lot more pressure. I can handle like tougher conversations. I can handle deeper things. I can handle I can handle a lot more things juggling at once. I can handle financial pressures better, right? Because I've been in the arenas consistently over and over and over. I love the arenas. I go into the arenas. I expect the world to design arenas for me. And in the beginning, I used to think I had to get sick to go into the arena. And now I just believe the arena is just an expansive place of fun and joy and, temper tantrums and crying too. It's fine. Fine. Temper tantrums and cry. Yes, girl, let's get to it. Okay. What time is it? Oh, snap. I'm not even close. Okay. Key points. Identity shift. 95% of your action is directly from your subconscious. Identity must shift. Okay. So this is just a reminder of what we talked about. The brain will flip the entire universe upside down. Like, can we just comprehend that for a second? This is what I'm saying. If you just get that, then you're good. You're good. You can leave now. You can go do whatever you're going to do. If you just got that much, literally your brain will rewire itself to flip the entire universe upside down. Talk about perception is reality, right? Like, so if we believe that we're massively successful, wildly abundant, and we're a global CEO that is 10xing all of our lives and taking everything with us, and we get to have joy and fun and romance and epic sex lives, and we get to look beautiful, and we get to have deep connection with God, and we get to have amazing girlfriends, and we get to have all those things. If we really believe that, your brain will rewire itself to flip it upside down and find it on planet Earth. That's it. And so you could specifically bring that just into the business as being a CEO and talk about massive levels of expansion. Right? Okay. When you believe something, your brain searches for evidence that it's true. Otherwise, we feel crazy. This is why your brain will do it. This is biological for every human being. It's not going to not work for you. Okay? You consistently break through the ceiling over and over. Now, these are key points for things that you want to put on your radar as you embrace this journey. Okay? I know I'm kind of flying through because I'm way late. Okay. Another key point. You consistently break through the ceiling over and over. You and I both know that this is what you do. You break through over and over and over and over. That's what you do, right? But we must be sure to take the floor with us. I learned this lesson pretty epically, right? Your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your money mindset, your sense of worth, your ability to receive, your capacity to be famous and powerful, and to know to know that you are still who you want to be in integrity as you do this, right? We have to take that with us, because otherwise we'll just keep building success and like having a deeper reach and a more powerful reach. And then as we do that, it's like we leave this gap back here. And one time I was talking to a coach of mine, she's like, oh, you created a $40,000 gap because I had $40,000 fall through. back then. And so she was like, oh yeah, you created a $40,000 gap. And I was dying laughing. And I was like, oh, you're right. So you can create a 200K gap if you want to, or we can just make sure we're taking that floor with us, right? So that's just an important thing to have on your radar to know, because that wasn't on my radar. And so I wasn't looking for it. Also knowing CEO success habits, right? And the concepts behind them. So we've talked about some of those tonight, but I'm going to give you an example. Okay. It's funny. The first class one kept coming to me and I was like, I don't want to do that as an example. I want to do a different example, like hire before you're ready, because that one is so powerful. But this is the one that kept coming to me. So I don't know who this is for. You're welcome, because it was a triggery one for me. Okay. So CEO success habits and the concepts behind them. You must have the concepts built into your foundation for your instincts, so that your instincts are different. Just your natural reaction to something will be different because this is built into your foundation. So one of the things that I go into pretty deep in the 10-day program, the Awakened CEO 10-day program, is actually these concepts behind it. And we drill these down and build these into your foundation. Okay, so here's an example. First class. Expansive as hell. I wrote back. I should delete that. But I only fly first class now, right? Expensive as hell, not expansive. It's both, right? Okay, here's the concept. This took me a bit to actually wrap my head around because I was annoyed. You can pay $1,000 to sit in regular seating, or you can pay $12,000, between $6,000 and $12,000 to sit in first class, depending on where you're flying in the world. And so many times, I would sit in the regular seating. And then I knew the concept, but I just was struggling with it. I was really struggling with it. It was the same thing with like buying expensive things. I really struggled with all of those kind of things. Probably just because I was poor for so many years. 35 years. I was very, very poor. So here's the concept behind it. The concept is that nothing takes away from anything else, right? So there's no blocks that we're trading. Like if I spend time with my kids, it's taking it away from my business. If I spend time on my business, it's taking it away from my kids. If I spend time, in romance or fun with my girlfriends, then it's taking away from my kids and my business. And like, we just have to like switch blocks and trade and try to get everything equal. That is bullshit. That's not a real thing. It's really not. I mean, it's really, really not. So I started learning that as I started traveling as a mom, being away from my kids for like 2 weeks at a time. And at the first I felt so guilty. So as that's true, whatever things expand us in every area. Wherever you go, there you are. First class is about it's pressure. It's an arena for most people who that is like not a normal thing yet. Putting yourself in first class is, or it doesn't even matter. Like in the beginning, maybe it was just paying the extra, $100 or $60 to pick a seat that was in the aisle that you wanted to, or maybe you'd pay $200 to get into that exit seat, and then you would work your way to first class. It's all the exact same thing. I don't care. What I'm saying is that if you feel a call to something, right? Like I felt called to first class, but I threw a massive temper fit about paying the money. And then I would sit in the back and I would be frustrated, and I wouldn't be in the vibration of abundance, right? I would be in the back and my back would hurt and my knees would hurt, and the person would put the seat back, and then I was sitting like a little kid with my knees all smushed up to me. And it was a very different experience, and a different stuff came out of me for my business and work. I didn't even work. I would end up watching movies the whole time. So for me, when I sat in first class, it was actually recognizing and identifying at a new vibrational level that felt very uncomfortable and put a lot of pressure on me. Like, I'm wasting money. I shouldn't be doing this. And continuously doing that until I was able to work through it, release it, let it go, and just trust and tell myself like, oh, like this is, I just get to work epically. And anytime, if I spend 10K on a first class flight, then I know that I'm just creating 100K right here. Like, let's get to it. I'm working and creating 100K. Like I just get to have 10 times whatever I actually end up paying for something. Same with an investment. Any investment I make, I get to have 10 times back, 10 times back, 10 times back. And it may not happen in the timing that I want it to happen in, where I can see evidence of it and feel better, but I know it's there. I know it's happening. Right? So a very high level concept for CEO is like understanding and knowing that when you put yourself in a place where you're actually feeling the vibration of being the high level CEO, then you will continue to stay in that vibration. Anytime you do something that takes you out of that vibration. So, for me, staying at a very cheap hotel and going to a dive bar does not take me out of that vibration. It's super fun and I feel free, and it doesn't take me out of the vibration. For someone else, it might. For me, you know, staying at an Airbnb and cooking my own dinners doesn't take me out of that vibration. But sitting in the backseat of an airplane takes me out of the vibration. I don't judge what it is. It's not my job or my place to judge it. It's my job to listen to my body and to trust my body that when I stay at this global level high-end CEO vibration, that is when the best of me will come out, because I continue to put myself in the arena and under the pressure, and the best of me will keep coming out and keep coming out and keep coming out. And to know that that's enough, and I don't need to prove or become worthy in order for me to have the things that make me feel expansive. I didn't need to prove anything. Nobody else's rules that they made up about it matter. There's no levels or comparison to anything else. There's me and my soul. There's me and my journey. There's me and how I feel. Then there's me and my intuition and the pings that I get, and me trusting and following and staying in those and keeping myself at a high vibe place. You see what I'm saying? This is a very different way of thinking than the thinking of like, I need to save money, I need to be smart, I need to penny pinch, I need to whatever. And like, even if something like, it's this, okay, here's a different example of the exact same concept I'm talking about. When you're working and you're at home working, and all of a sudden the work starts to feel like anxiety producing, and like all of a sudden you start to feel like, oh, this is getting annoying. Like, I just want to get this done. Nope, you crossed the line. You went too far, right? Like, instead of going too far, what we would do is we would stop and you take a break the second it starts to feel anxious producing, because we're staying in that high level vibe. We're staying in that high level state, right? So if we're doing something for whatever reason, when I put clothes away, I used to like get all anxious putting the clothes away. So I hired someone to put my clothes away. I'm not going to judge it. I'm just not judging it. I don't care. I will hire someone to put the clothes away because it took me out of the state that was that high vibe, right? So there are many concepts like this behind someone who is a successful CEO that will change your entire life. And it's important for us to build that foundation so that our reaction to things and our instincts about things are different, so that we stay in the vibration that gets us producing the biggest and the best that we can in this world. So we're in a state of overflow, and we always have something to give. That was a dream of mine in the beginning. I had to be very patient to get to the place where I was in a state of overflow all the time, where I was always in a state of overflow. I had something to give all the time. And the moments that I don't, I shut it down, right? Like, completely shut it down. Like, I'm done, I'm unavailable right now, and I give myself whatever I need to recuperate, because that's so important. Okay. And the vision, okay? Your vision is like a negative energy clearing force. Without it, you'll be bogged down. But each and every step by each and every step as you create your empire. So think of it like this, like a balloon. And in the morning, the balloon is nice and big inside of you, and it's like this big full balloon. And then through the day, something pricks it and it starts to leak. And then another thing pricks it and it starts to leak. And then another thing pricks it and you start to leak. And if you don't have a vision that's calling you forward, that vision is like the thing that keeps blowing your balloon up, keeps it blowing up, so it doesn't just frizzle, like deflate. And then you're like running on fumes. It's the vision. And my call to you guys tonight is to help you recognize and become aware that your vision is crazy little. I don't have to hear it. I know, because it's the state of the heart-centered entrepreneurs. It is the state, it is a condition. The condition is small visions, very small visions, compared to who you are and how big your heart is and how big the capacity that you have to step into this and handle. And my call for you guys tonight is to start being a lot more intentional and a lot more brave about the steps that you're taking. And when you get a ping and a hell yes, that you're just instantly backing it. Instantly. The whole damn world can think that you're impulsive. It doesn't matter to me. Everyone thought I was crazy when I quit the first school that I went to for physical therapy assistant. They thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was crazy when I quit nursing school. Everyone thought I was crazy when I quit the neuroscience. Everyone thought I was crazy when I started the health coaching business. Everyone thought I was even crazier when I started the business coaching. Did that ever matter? No, it did not. That did never matter at all. Oh my God, yes, when you said that to me last week, it was so powerful. I had forgotten to take the floor with me. Yes. Oh my God, never thought it would be this. The pressure. Don't be scared of the pressure. You were built for it. You were built to handle the pressure. Just at first, your nervous system is going to adjust, just like when you first start working out. Like, get your ass in the arena, put the pressure on you. Don't ever release the pressure off of you. Like, get the pressure on you. And the second it starts to feel easy, put the pressure on to the next level. And the second it starts to get easy, put the pressure on to the next level. It's how I built my entire business. And now the pressure is just a way of life. It's just It's just normal. It's just how I do life. It's not scary and hard, and it just feels savvy. It feels like, I'm frolicking around the world and having fun while I have all this pressure on me, and nobody would ever know the levels of things that I carry and handle, and that shit feels good. It feels really good. Okay. Identity shift. Letting your brain back up what you want it to see. Taking the floor with you. The concepts behind the CEO success habits, that is probably the most important thing out of everything that I'm doing in this 10-day program. It's just so big. It changes everything. It's your beliefs about what you believe is true so that your brain can find it in the world, right? This is what we're talking about. And this is literally the exact work we're going to be doing in the Awakened CEO. So some of you will feel called to this, like to do this work right here, to expand your vision, to really get clear what that 10X vision is, to really build those concepts and foundational beliefs behind the success and behind the expansion and behind the making money and behind the having the power and fame. Fame doesn't feel like the right word, but I guess it is the right word. I think that most people think of fame differently, but it is what it is. There's a level of fame to it, right? And then actually breaking them down and implementing, learning what is the roles in a business, what is like how, like become savvy about running your business. A lot of the work we're going to be doing is to actually set the foundation so that the way you see the world and what your brain is looking for in the world starts to change while you have that massive big vision that will keep calling you through and pulling you through. And then we're just going to learn all the things you need to learn that would like made my head spin. I'm going to make them super easy for you. Break them down. You're going to know exactly how, like you're just going to have a very savvy like that overview of being the CEO of your business. And this was me. I was already making $500,000 a year when I first learned this stuff. So yeah, it's not readily being taught, which is why I'm creating this for people. So we begin May 13th. If you're interested, all you have to do is comment below and my team will send you a private link with the information on it. We've begun the early bird special now. I know a few people hopped in on the last training. That was $9.97, but the early bird special is now $1,222. That's the whole shebang for this whole entire program. Yes, to learn how to be cool. It's never going to be this price again. This is the very first program. It's a super celebration because it's the first program being launched by CEO University, which I'm super excited to be doing. There also is a payment plan. I know a lot of people were asking about that. Yes, there's a payment plan. It is 10 days of massive support. I'm going to be in the group with you every single step of the way. Literally every question that you have will be answered. Everything that you need to know will be taken care of. My intention is for everybody to get everything that they need. We're going to do a power 10 days because that's the best way to learn. And then I'm going to be in there for a while with you guys after. We'll have a celebration and everything. But it's not something that you're just getting dropped in. I'm literally doing everything live with you guys every single day in there. Everything will be recorded. It's all stored for you in the membership indefinitely. So even if you can't make any of the 10 trainings, it's all there for you. The workbooks will be there for you. Everything will be there for you indefinitely stored there for you. And you'll have access for any kind of Q&A every single day that we're doing this. And I'm also going to have a thread of questions. So there'll be questions with a thread of questions in there that you can put anything that you need to know about. It doesn't matter whether it's the mindset, the concepts, a particular concept, a struggle or problem that you're feeling stuck with dealing with, if you need wording or languaging around something, or if it's an actual particular thing in your business that you're trying to understand. All of that stuff will be, and then I will do a training on that, just addressing all of the Q&As that are in there. Which turns out like we've done those before in other programs and they're so epic. It's you guys ask such powerful questions. And then in the workbook I gave you guys down below, I just cover stuff that we already covered in here, letting you guys know some of the stuff that we'll be covering in here, but I just told you guys the same thing. So that is it. 3 minutes to spare. I did it. I thought I was running super late in the beginning. Oh, okay. So tell me the biggest thing that came up for you. What did you hear? What stuck to your ears? I know a couple of you already dropped them. If you can see the whole path, that shit ain't yours. Yes, that's such a big deal. That was such a big shift for me. What else? Gotta hate it when you put it out there and it bites you in the ass and now you get to defend it. I don't know. I like when that happens. It is embarrassing. Hi, Maria. It is embarrassing for like 4 seconds. But like, what? Look, I'm chasing a massive big dream, and it takes big balls to do that. So are you. And we're gonna do some crazy shit. Like, we're gonna screw some stuff up, and we're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna have to eat humble pie, and we're gonna learn all the lessons, and that is totally part of the journey. And I don't know, I couldn't be more excited. Every mistake I make is like just one step closer. And I really do. The floor idea, never heard that before. Yes, yes, yes. That is big. We're going to be going big into that, because out of all that, like I said, out of all the things that I ever went through in the business, I would say that one kicked my ass the most. The most profound things that helped me get through were the concepts that I'm going to be teaching you guys. Happy and Wealthy was a whole bunch of the basic concepts in the very beginning. This one is the concepts behind High Level CEO and just like literally global impact. So they're some of the most powerful concepts that I've learned that still to this day kind of like holy, like the impact that the concept had in my life is just so significant. It just massive life-changing concepts. And then so that was like the thing that pulled me forward the most, and the thing that knocked me on my ass the most was not taking the floor with me. So I directly am diving right into that with you guys. Those will be shifted hands down. Oh yes, we are. I love it. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Anyone interested in the private link, just comment below or PM, and we will send you the private link. The team will be tracking this right here. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know you're here. If you're new, don't forget to say hi to me. I know I said it earlier, but that way I can come say hi to you and I can get to know you a little bit. Okay. Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. Your time is precious and I appreciate you spending it with me. I hope this served you and you got massive amounts of value. And I want you tonight to just allow yourself to sort of feel the energy of that shift of looking at it, just looking at this and allowing yourself to feel it and really recognize and acknowledge how powerful and incredible you are and what you feel called to. And if you're willing to step into the arena and really do this work and really start opening your eyes and really start being more obedient to the promptings and the intuitions and the pings that you feel and the creative ideas that you have, and to start backing those and start getting really excited about what life will look like when you are backing those, because it's a really different kind of life. Like a really different kind of life. The greatest kind of life. All right, guys, I love you so much. Have a fantastic night. Thank you for all the well wishes. I am going to go and go to sleep now and rest. I'm hoping tomorrow will be my first day of working out. I'm very excited. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great night. You're so welcome. Love you, Janine.